back again in your faces. Welcome to another episode of Naija Football Talk. It's a beautiful day to talk about football, and it's even beautiful in the studio with these two lovely gentlemen here. We have Mr. Bolu sporting a new look. You need to tell us what inspired you to do this, by the way. And Kilachi, of course, looking good in that Arsenal jersey.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Feel you. I feel you.
Keeping it cool, yeah. A lot happened over the weekend, and yeah, before we go just into that, let's talk about the FPL briefly. Bolu, what was the FPL like for you this weekend?
It was quite an average week. We all put our hopes on Salah, and he gave only 10 points. Only 10 points by his standard. Funnily enough, he has delivered average of 10 points per game this season, so he's still delivering. But it's just that it felt like it wasn't enough because he couldn't lift the rest of the squad like he did last week.
Yeah, quick one, Skelachi. Yeah, based on all your knowledge of the FPL, Harry Kane has surprisingly underperformed this season. What can you say about him based on an FPL perspective? Do you like stick with him, like keep on the faith with him, or is it time to just remove him for now?
For now, there's only people that show their workings in FPL. So I mean, just
scrap him off.
Yeah. Until you start seeing it, all you need is 2 goals. Once you see 2 goals, you just know that he's back.
Speaking about Harry Kane and Tottenham, there's a lot of big news and updates we just got this morning. And when we come back into the show, we'll be going straight into the discussion proper.
Looking for the best websites for your next game day stake? Topbets.com.ng has the juice on all of Nigeria's best gaming websites from Nigeria's biggest gaming companies. Compare the odds and markets and make the best choice for you before you make your next stake. Check out game day reviews, previews, top tips, and predictions to help you make the best choice.
Welcome back, guys, and like we said, there's a lot to talk about, and straight to the business. We'll be talking about the talking points from all of the action from the weekend. Just before we go straight into the discussion, let's give a special mention to our sponsors, topbet.com.ng, your number one staking partner in Nigeria, for all of your top predictions, analysis, and betting tips to go with. That's your website to be. And don't forget the website on your screen. Just go there if you're a punter looking to make some big wins. topbet.com.ng. Remember that name. So let's go straight to the discussions that happened all over the weekend, and there's a lot to talk about. I feel like we can't even cover everything today, but I mean, we just have to do justice. Let's start from the big game that saw lots of ripple effect. Manchester United taking on Tottenham. That kind of game was the one where Manchester United fans just couldn't win. If you win, other rival fans will laugh at you because you are keeping Ole, and if you lose, of course, it was bad news for Ole as well. But just as we expected, when Ole was pushed against the wall, he came back with a superhuman formation.
That man has 9 lives.
He took a leave out of Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, played a 3-5-2, and boom, 3-0. So Bolu, what do you have to say about that game? Is it just because Manchester United were good or Tottenham were just crap?
I'll open with the statement. Thank you very much, Nuno. You have saved the world.
Indeed.
Thank you so much. Man he sacrificed himself and his job for the football world.
We'll forever remember that.
He lost that game for Ole, and now he has lost his job. Conte is taking over. Conte, instead of taking over Man U, is going to Tottenham now.
Thank
you
bro.
So much, Nuno.
We appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
So yeah, back to, were Manchester United just so good, or were Tottenham just that bad?
I think a mix of both. First of all, everyone was surprised with Ole's tactical change to a back 3, and I think that was what shocked Tottenham the most, because usually games like that where 2 teams are in poor form, you expect to see a cacophony of mistakes and all that. But because Man United were in a different shape on the day, Tottenham didn't know what to expect, and they were shell shooters. Obviously, in their performance, they didn't have a shot on target in the game, and United just took the game to them. And
fair enough. So yeah, speaking about this new formation, Manchester United looked a different side. 3 centre backs, Varane, Maguire, and Lindelof, and they just seem to keep that defensive composure. And Tottenham, as like Bolu said, they didn't have a shot on target. So do you think this is a formation to consider moving forward, or was it just a one-off?
Well, I feel that it is something he can consider moving forward. It helped the defense be more solid, because that was part of the errors and mistakes and problems that he was facing in Manchester United before. So I think it's something he can use looking forward. But considering the fact that Manchester United have a plethora of attackers, quality attackers, I'm sure that he's definitely going to mix things up more than this.
From a Manchester United perspective, yeah, it was pretty good to see Ronaldo and Cavani, play well up front. Yeah, but speaking of the ripple effect, just this morning on our way to the shoot, we got news. Nuno Santo, has been relieved of his duties. He has been sacked, and Antonio Conte, surprisingly, is now the man, is the favorite to become, the next boss. Before this video gets out, it might probably have been announced. Who knows? But Bolu, what do you think about Tottenham here? Were they too hasty in making a decision? Is this something they will regret, just jumping the gun after 10 games?
Tottenham have made so many errors in the last few years that they keep making more errors to cover their errors that they've made before, and this is just part of the ripple effects, like you said. Conte was their first choice to take over from Mourinho over the summer. They couldn't get an agreement with him. They had to go through a number of candidates. Finally, the sixth man, who was Nuno, got the job. He won manager of the month in the first month of the season. Now, that feels like such a long time ago, because they've won only one game since then, and it's been disastrous. And now they're going to bring back Conte. So you wonder why couldn't they come to an agreement with Conte at the time? And now Harry Kane is even in a worse. Is even in a worse form than he was then, in worse mood as well. So you just wonder, why are they trying to now finally do it after 10 games? We just can't understand the actions that they make. And they always said at the start of the summer that they wanted an attacking coach, and Nuno and Conte are neither of that. So you wonder, what direction is the club going?
Speaking of the direction the club are going to, Conte to Tottenham, Skelachi, just your own opinion. How do you see this going? Remember, this is a Tottenham side that made one of the best coaches in football history, Jose Mourinho, look very average. Now we have another world-class coach going to Tottenham, supposedly going to Tottenham. What do you think can be of Tottenham under Conte?
Well, I expect the normal Conte magic of defensive solidity. I expect that now Tottenham, I'm being honest now, Tottenham are going to be very hard to beat, a more resilient team. I'm expecting that every player in Tottenham's first 11 on any given match will become a fighter, a warrior. But the good part is the Spurs, so it's not like they're going to win the Premier League or win the Champions League or Conte, are they out of the Carabao Cup? Yeah,
they are.
So
anyways, we just have to see what happens, and I don't know, Ole will have to tell us the man that does his juju, because he's very strong. Now Conte was the man that was likely going to replace Ole. And now Conte is getting a job at Tottenham. Ole, nice one. So moving away from Manchester United, let's go to Chelsea. These guys, I said something last week that something about Chelsea is the fact that they don't play too well, but they grab all the necessary points, which is all you need in a football match. No need for fancy. Just get the points and win. And now they put in a dominant show against Newcastle at the weekend. With James, was the highlight of the game. And now the question is, how integral are Rhys James and Ben Chilwell, the likes of their fullbacks? I think they have been the most influential, the most contributions to goals. They made the most contributions to goals for Chelsea in their past 4 games. How influential are these guys to their team?
Well, we saw with the recent statistics that Chelsea defenders are the ones that score the most goals, and it seems that with the style of play that Tuchel adopts, usually there are spaces on the flanks there for them too, and it's impossible to mark the runs of wing backs if they are darting into the box like Chilwell does a lot of time. And Rhys James is also a very good goal scorer, a shooter as well. So it's credit to Tuchel, because even though the strikers are not scoring, they keep scoring more than 2 goals in every game, and put in a very solid
10 goals in their last 2 games.
Puts in a very solid defensive performance as well. That's stuff of champions. But
Bolo, speaking on this same issue of strikers not scoring, Chelsea are winning games, but there's still the issue of the big strikers up front not scoring. Lukaku and Werner, for some reason, they are still struggling. I'm not surprised about Lukaku anyway. I predicted this.
Well, they're both injured at the moment.
But what do you think Tuchel can do to solve this? Let's forget the fact that Chelsea are winning, but to get his strikers in among the goals, what do you think he can do?
I don't think there's anything different from what the team has been doing. The team keeps creating chances. It was just that when Lukaku, before he got injured, they were not getting those chances to him as quickly as they should have. And I think now that the 2 main strikers are injured, the whole team is getting to work together for their goals. And I think that would help when the strikers come back, because everyone is in good form. Everyone has seen how much difference the strikers can make when they are on the pitch, and how much difference to make for the team the strikers are scoring. But then on the other hand, it's also a situation whereby it's the attackers who create the space for these defenders to score the goals. Because like we saw against Newcastle, it was our inverted wing backs, Chilwell and James, were those that created the goal scoring opportunities for us, and that was because we had all the inside forwards and all the attackers. They had taken all the space in the box, so there was extra space. Yeah, exactly. So that it was that extra space that Rhys James found to score his goals.
Just before we wrap up with Chelsea, I don't know, but do you believe in magic?
Yeah.
You believe in magic, because I remember when Chelsea, where they were linked to a certain wizard from Ajax. Wizard, we're in Wizard of Oz, Wizard of this. One season after, we are yet to see any magic. Hakim Ziyech is one player that had so much potential, but he has, for some reason, underperformed at Chelsea. What are your thoughts on this guy so far?
I mean, it's not a big deal unless we just want to make something out of it. He's still a very talented player. He scored one goal that was offside against Chelsea, against Newcastle that was offside. He scored it like it was nothing. So I feel like it's just because of the type of club Chelsea is, the quality and caliber of players. Chelsea will always be packed with superstars or high quality players. So the moment you're not at your best, you're out. So yeah, I mean, if Ziyech was in a club like Arsenal, he would have to play and be back on form. Yeah, right. So but he's in Chelsea, so
yeah. Speaking of Arsenal, let's move on to the Gunners out there. They claimed a surprise win against Leicester City. People thought it was going to be a rather difficult game, but it was quite the opposite. It seemed like a routine win. Yeah. And in case you don't know, Arsenal and Liverpool are now the only two teams in the top 10 that are unbeaten in their past 5 games. Not bad for a team that were 20th just before the international break. Not bad at all. 9 games unbeaten under Mikel Arteta. So, Skilachi, the question for you is, what is Arteta doing differently now that he wasn't doing before? Or what do you think?
I think the greatest advantage Arsenal has right now is the lack of European competitions to distract the players. There's a lot of pressure from the media as well once we go into all those type of competitions. Besides that, the weight of the fixture list coming around December and February as well. So I feel that's Arsenal's greatest advantage right now. Not being in
done to you guys.
So I think because of that now, I expect, I'm sporting an Arsenal jersey, I expect that Arsenal would perform beyond everybody's expectation this season.
So Bolo, even with your blonde do, we want you to keep a very objective response here. Arsenal are now 6th, 3 points off third place Manchester City, and they have a decent run of games in the coming weeks. Where do you think Arsenal can be towards the end of December?
Well, to be honest, I still think they would struggle to get into the top 6 because we have teams like West Ham, pardon me, teams like Leicester, West Ham, and Brighton who have emerged, and it would take a huge effort to dislodge those guys. So I think you have a fight on your hands for the top 6, and hopefully the lack of European football could favor you guys.
Would surely.
Yeah, it could, but then it will all come down to during AFCON. Aubameyang is leaving, Partey is leaving, Elneny is leaving. The squad will be stretched.
And Pepe is leaving. We're good.
Pepe is leaving as well. And you guys are forgetting the fact that in December, January, there's no European football. Everybody's playing Premier League every 3 days.
Yeah, but by February,
that lack of European football wouldn't really matter in January, February. True. I mean, in December, January, when those players are out for AFCON. So that's very important.
Good point from Bolu. But the major talking point for Arsenal over the weekend was not even an outfield player, was the man behind the sticks, Aaron Ramsdale. I'll be very honest to say, when Arsenal put 30 million for a keeper that just got relegated, I questioned that signing. But I've been made to eat my words. The guy's been simply brilliant, and he made a very stunning save at halftime against Leicester City. James Maddison put his hand on his head thinking that was in, and boom, it was not in all of a sudden. Now, there's a bit of a debate. People saying that save has been overhyped. Even Peter Schmeichel said that's the best save he has seen in years. Was that save really overhyped, or was it simply phenomenal?
Facts, Naija guy. Yeah. Facts. It was overhyped. I mean, it was phenomenal eventually. He made 8 saves at the end of the game. He kept a clean sheet. But Like it was overhyped. Let's just be real. It was kind of hyped. Let me not say overhyped. It was a very amazing save, but I mean, James Maddison didn't put the ball in the top corner. If it was going top bins, it would have taken work for Ramsdale to get there because of his height. We know that nowadays keepers that are kind of his height have a disadvantage. So yeah, there's a little bit of hype on the save. Yeah,
I think the real pressure, the real reason Ramsdale was getting so much blood was the fact that he was way off his so he had to cover so much ground, and the sun was directly right at him, so he had a lot of work to do. Just staying behind the away fans. I mean, you don't need to agree. You don't need to agree with my analogy.
I'm making 8 saves and keeping a clean sheet. So yeah,
this analysis actually is good.
Yeah, I mean, the sun was directly right at him, and these conditions made it very difficult. He was staying just behind the away fans, chanting his name all through the game, and he still pulled off that save. So it was pretty good to see. Leno, I like you, but just that bench, you are doing a good job.
Yeah, just stay on form.
Yeah, you sit belt and a cup holder.
Stay where you are for now, right
Popcorn too.
Now, so like there's a lot to talk about, but we can't do that in the Premier League. I mean, Salah, Liverpool, we'll always talk about Liverpool, but this week, I think they just disappointed us.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, but when we come back from this short break, we'll be talking about happenings from other leagues across Europe. Stay tuned.
Looking for the best websites for your next game day stake? Topbets.com.ng has the juice on all of Nigeria's best gaming websites from Nigeria's biggest gaming companies. Compare the odds and markets and make the best choice for you before you make your next stake. Check out game day reviews, previews, top tips, and predictions to help you make the best choice.
Away from the Premier League, we move on to La Liga, where it was pretty much a routine weekend. Atletico won, Real Madrid too did what they know how to do, and but for Barca, well,
Barca without Messi.
It was more of the same, anyways. And speaking of Barca, in midweek they got one of their biggest club legends in Ronald Koeman. They got him sacked, and still it was out, but it was the same problems again at the weekend. So, do you think Barca were finally right to let Koeman go?
Well, Koeman was a dead man walking, let's be honest with ourselves. He should have left the job a long time ago. He should have been sacked. But then, bringing Sergi Barjuan, I didn't see anything much different because he started basically the same Koeman.
Exact formation.
Their starts right wing. It was just the same.
Seemed like the same thing.
Yeah, not much difference in the performances. And Barcelona's problem right now is the quality of players they have, not the manager really. And probably if they bring Xavi here, he might try to unite them or the Barca spirit and all that, but it's still the same quality of players. So there's not much difference you can actually make.
Yeah, quick one, Skelachi. So I've been speaking to some Barca fans, and they are like, they need someone ruthless that can make the hard decisions. And when I say hard decisions, many Barca fans seem to be of the school of thought that the old guard, the likes of Piqué, Busquets, and co, it's time. They've served the club well, but it's time for them to be dropped. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
I think I would agree. Considering their performances.
But then if they're dropped, who do they replace them with? Those are the only experienced players left in the team.
I mean, well, true. But also, there are a lot of players that have been ignored by Ronald Koeman, like Pjanic, and, there are a lot of players that have been ignored by Ronald Koeman, let's just say. And yes, you're right that the quality of players are low, but also as well, it's time for the big men to, step down. They set the standards that they set for themselves. I mean, they are not reaching there, and they need to hand over power to the young ones.
Fair enough. So Real Madrid claimed a 2-1 win over Elche, right? It was not as smooth sailing as it seemed. Vinicius bagged a brace, and we're coming to Vinicius by the way, but Real Madrid had to hold on after conceding a late goal, 2-1 to just hang on there for the win. How good has this guy been? I remember last season we used to complain about this guy putting finishing touches to his game, and he would just be good. Now he has gotten that finishing touch. How good has he been this season?
He's been phenomenal, right? He's right behind Benzema as Madrid's most important player now. He has always been. He was always been in terms of the way they played, but now he's showing it with his statistics, and it's wonderful to see. He's still a very young guy. He has over 100 appearances for Madrid now, and I remember writing an article after his 100 appearances that is this the point where he starts to become fulfill his potential in a Madrid jersey, and it looks like he's finally doing it now. And it's happy days for him. I'm very happy to see that someone who works so hard is finally showing himself in front of goal, and that's good for Madrid, really.
Yeah, and just lastly, Kelechi, Eden Hazard is a name that continues to cause so much controversy. He was loved at Stamford Bridge. He was their darling for about 7 years, but things have not gone right for him at Real Madrid. And now Carlo Ancelotti recently said that, Hazard has not been injured. I just chose not to play him because other players are performing better than him. Do you think maybe it's time for Hazard to move somewhere else?
Move somewhere else. I don't want to spoil Hazard retirement plan because it be like say since he didn't go Madrid, he just want to collect salary, chill. So I mean, Madrid might let him move on, but I think it won't be bad having his experience and quality in their ranks as well. Vinicius is clearly more on form right now, but I think over the period of the whole season, having someone like Hazard, we just spoke about Barcelona not having quality replacements and players in their squad. Having someone like Hazard in the squad will definitely come in handy.
I would have chosen to say, hopefully this will tell those Chelsea fans to end all those Salah versus Hazard debates, but because of this gentleman to my left, I will avoid that statement for today. And speaking of unfortunate circumstances, I mean, it's just sad to see what happened with Sergio Aguero. He just recently made his debut for Barca, scored his first goal, and he had to come off the pitch, after having a heart reading problem just at the weekend. And just from all of us here at Naija Football Talk, we are wishing him a speedy recovery, and we hope he gets back to the pitch very soon. It's always sad to see players struggle with fitness issues and
health-related issues.
Yeah, health-related issues as well. So we are just hoping for the very best. And just before we move on from this segment, speaking on fitness, PSG are considering to terminating the contract of Sergio Ramos because he is yet to even train or make an appearance for them. I mean, this is someone that was once the best centre back in Europe. Now he's struggling.
Just a year ago, was rated as the best centre back.
What do you think has gone wrong, or what do you think has gone wrong?
His fitness issues have been ridiculous. It's incredible to see how much Sergio Ramos has fallen. I think he's just he's been playing almost every game for the last over a decade now, and I think that's just catching up with him. Similar to what's wrong with Hazard at the moment. We rarely ever missed the games. Always playing for Madrid, playing through pain and all that. But now it's one fitness concern that's led to many niggles, and you really can't. He has to listen to his body. He's 35 years old now, so I think I think PSG letting him go is too early. To be honest, that's too premature. You need to at least have the patience with him. Give him a season at least. Let him, because when Chamberlain gets to the later stages, you need heads like Sergio Ramos, and he would most likely be fit by that time. So I think he needs to.
All right, so I guess we'll just have to call it quits for now. Ole keeps his job. Conte likely to take over at Tottenham. Things are looking exciting, and we just have to see what happens in the coming weeks. When we're back from this short break, we'll be wrapping up what has been an interesting show on Naija Football Talk. Thanks for sticking with us up until this moment. It's been an interesting episode out there. Once again, we give a special shout out to our sponsors, topbet.com.ng, your number one staking partner for your betting predictions, your top analysis, and your match previews and reviews. Make sure to visit the website showing right there on your screen. And this is a call for you to, share our post out there, give us a comment, give us a like on Twitter, on Instagram, all over the place. And our subscribers, we just hit 2K recently thanks to you guys, and we're on the race now to hit 3K. I hope we can do that before Lukaku gets to 10 goals. Let's see which one happens faster. Do we get to 3K subscribers first, or Lukaku gets 10 goals?
Lukaku has to score. Once he's back, he's banging.
Right, we'll just see what becomes of that. So thank you once again, guys. I mean, we do all this for you, and it was nice speaking about football and enjoying what we do best. Until we come away again in your faces, bye for now.